Howdy and aloha, everyone. This is James with Mana Talk. Mana meaning mystical power. Talk meaning just use your words. All right. It is April the 7th, 2026. And after Trump cussing the hell out of the Iran, the guy, he's not hard to figure out. But he gave him a verbal, it wasn't PG, it was PG-13. Praise to Allah, whatever. Fucking this and that, you can look it up. But he said a bunch of shit, cussed a little bit. And he was serious. I mean, the guy's just like, fuck, if you're going to fuck around, you're going to find out. Iran and all the Demoncrats and the illegitimate Biden administration and those pests and delusional, deranged Demoncrats, of course, are still tripping out because he's been successful. Now, I'm not really seeing it too much. I've seen it a little bit with eggs, a lot with eggs. Gas is kind of leveled off and it'll go down even further soon here because he opened up the strait and they are in talks. But let's kind of just, this is the headline today. All right. Yeah, right here. You can see this. Based on conversation, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Field Marshal Assam Manur of Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destruction force being sent tonight to Iran, and subject to Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening to the Strait of Hormuz. I agreed to suspend the bombing of the attack Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with the definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East, which everybody's been saying that for fucking decades, as long as I've been alive. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran. But a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated on behalf of the United States of America as president and also representing the countries of the Middle East. It is our honor to have this long-term problem close to a resolution. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald Trump. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but Donald Trump, as soon as the attack started a month and a half ago, the Iran showed their cards, which means what they did was they didn't just haphazardly send missiles and munitions and rockets and bombs just trying to protect themselves. They sent it out to countries that people are like, what are you fucking bombing these guys for? They're Muslim. I mean, there were 4 or 5 different countries that were flat out full Muslim that were being bombarded by Iran. And they showed their cards on who their enemies are, or lied about who their allies were. And these countries somewhat knew that. But that fully showed their cards. So Trump used, obviously exposing that, used that to his advantage, or to our advantage, or to the Middle East's advantage, of getting rid of the extremist Muslim regime. He has nothing against Muslim religion. I don't. Or Jewish, or Hindu, or whatever, Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. I don't, whatever you want to do, right? What he does have a problem with, which most people do, is Iran was continuously being just a reason for war, a reason to keep that money going to the banks, to the terrorist societies that were being created. I'm not saying they're going to disappear, But the bigger ones will, for sure. What many on the left, the liberals, the delusional, deranged, and disturbed Demoncrats were hoping for, in my opinion, was that he would just nuke the place and then he would be fucked. But he's not that stupid. And I don't think he was going to do that. The thing that I want to point out to you is Iran was sending out, and this is fucking hilarious in my opinion, he was sending out, come on machine. It was working earlier. Man, I got to go roller skating again. That was so much fun. ISS time lapse. I think I got it way down here. They were showing California King. California governor race. All right. I'll just type it in. I'll show you. Iran human shield on bridge. All right. You can see this picture, right? Oh, shit. Can you see that picture? Yeah. All right. Now you can see the picture. If you look at this picture, these people are standing out today, earlier today, on this bridge. Okay? And this bridge isn't really a bridge. It's a bridge, but it's not an infrastructure type bridge. It's not the bridge that keeps that country moving economically, infrastructure wise, or anything commerce. Nothing. It's more like just a little walking bridge. So that was just show. That was bullshit. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, because they wanted to use, Iran was using men and women and children as human shields. They were getting all these people to go out there on this little stupid bridge that was never going to be hit in the first place, because it's like a little commerce bridge. And they were standing on the outside. This was so retarded. The bombs, if they sent them, would be small and minor. It doesn't take up. You could their power plants, and this was the threat. The threat was, we're going to take out the power plants and the bridges, which we already did on the 3rd. The B1 bridge, or there's a name. I'll look it up. I'll tell you in a second. We did that on the 3rd, on my birthday. And the thing is, that was one of their biggest bridges. That was the bridge that connected commerce and trucking and everything they were doing. And we took that out a long time ago. We took that out days ago. But this right here is one of the power plants, right? Power plant, that's what it says. Ramin power plant. And look at that, I got it in English right there. Isn't that crazy? Over their bridge. That's so crazy. But all you would need is something tiny. You can throw a bus at this place. You can throw a fucking Greyhound bus at this and destroy its infrastructure. It's nothing. But there's a few of them out there, and I'm sure he was going to target. So that would have been devastating. Taking out more of the bridges, the infrastructure, taking out the power plants, it probably would have hurt a lot of civilians. He didn't want to do that. So what these guys were doing is they're out there. Of course, the men are in pants and shirts, and the women are in their skirts. Of course, let me just go to. I want to go to the bridge part. Where's the bridge? There it is. Right here. Now let me ask you something. Is that an infrastructure-sized bridge? It's symbolic. I get it. But that bridge wouldn't be touched. They might just do it just to say, fuck you. But that's a little tiny bridge that really doesn't mean anything. Right? You can barely fit a car through that bridge. And of course Fox is going, oh, they're blocking their bridges. That's a fucking walking bridge, you dumb shits. God. Fox. Sometimes they're pretty naive. They're all naive. And there you go. They're putting the children out there. And I'm sure these children want to be out there, right? Tell me that. Tell me that. Who the fuck would do that? Knowing that you've just been bombarded by a country for the past month and a half. And you know they've been going after the bridges. They're coming for you. You want to put your... Look at that girl right there. Look at that chick. There's a girl with her hair sticking out. What the fuck is that? All right. Yeah. This is crazy. Oh, look at that chick. Look at that chick with the sunglasses. Look at her. Big old cool sunglasses. Right? These are millionaires and billionaires that in Iran. These are part of the big... That probably would have been... hopefully they'll get this footage and look and find out who these people really are, because this is disgusting, in my opinion. So would we do that? Would we actually put children out on the bridge, or a supposed bridge that in a few hours is going to be obliterated? Look at that. There's the bridge. And they're putting their children out there. This is lunacy. This is what's left over. Is these fucking crazy Islamist extremists that took over Iran in 1979 with the Islamic Revolution, which was it was the sixth pillar. Infidels that don't believe in their religion must die. They flog the women. They throw rocks at their women. These women are so oppressed. It's like they don't know anymore. This poor child is going to be oppressed for probably not much longer, thankfully to Trump. And all you Demoncrats and you libtards and you idiots out there, if you are so supportive of Iran, then go live there. Fucking go there. Go live there and be flogged and be thrown at and have your eyes gouged out. If you wear makeup, blah, 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 blah. You can't drive a motorcycle, by the way. You can't have a fucking license. You're not allowed to drive cars. It's just terrible. The oppressive, it's like anti-feminism, yet the feminist movement, or the people that want men and women's sports, just boggles my mind, want to protect this shit. And now they're sacrificing kids out on the bridges. They were completely okay with that. There are some people out there that I know that are good, decent, Muslim, God-fearing people, and they're in our military. I guarantee it. They're in businesses. They're in government, right? But they know that their first honor and duty is to their country. Absolutely. If you're in this country, and if you don't think your duty is to protect it, even as a human citizen, even as an American of the American Republic citizen, to protect, because if somebody comes on our beaches, I'm there. I'm going to protect my kids. I'm going to protect, but going out there, that's fine. There's a whole big thing that's happening out there that's being extinguished, and opening up the Strait of Hormuz, however you fucking say it, is going to open up trade to the Middle East. And that's why Saudi Arabia loves it. This is why Pakistan likes it. This is why Iraq is into it. That's why there's so many, especially Israel, of course. But the biggest thing about this is it's going to and this is all about Trump. He's trying to make deals with these people. And sure enough, he's made one. Now, the only problem I have is hopefully they can put fucking Bibi in a timeout. I've never trusted that guy. I do trust the people of Israel. I think they're pretty cool people. Absolutely. Right? I have nothing against the Jews at all. But I'm going to say right now, Bibi's a little off kilter. A lot off kilter, in my opinion. All right. So good for Trump. Good for Trump that he did that. I think that's great. He played everybody, though. After a hard work, like the guy is, so they didn't know if he was serious. They didn't know if he was fucking around, but why would you take that chance? The guy just fucking annihilated your military. like annihilated. And he's fucking pissed off. Right? What do you do about that? You go, oh guys, I don't know, man. This man is very 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 serious. Very serious. We should definitely make sure he is not too pissed off. We don't want to piss him off too much. I don't want to piss this guy off too much. He doesn't fuck around. And if you fuck around, you're gonna find out. That's pretty much. So good job to President Trump for doing that. Hopefully everybody will fucking keep their cool and calm down and be cool. But you know what? Right off the bat in my mind, I'm like, there's always going to be some idiot. And my concern is Bibi. Because that guy is just on a fucking rampage. And I've heard so much shit from Jimmy Dore and everybody. Oh, Trump's chickening out or pulling out. He doesn't know this. You, Jimmy Dore, you have no fucking clue. No clue on what Trump is doing. You can't figure him out. I have a hard time figuring him out. Your mindset is very liberal, Jimmy. And everybody, Nico, and all these people that I used to somewhat associate with, they're welcome to always come on here to have these discussions. But I am guaranteeing you, and I've guaranteed it, that if you would have had Kamala Harris in office, you wouldn't have a YouTube channel. You wouldn't have the freedom to speak or question. Big Pharma would be ruling over everybody. There'd be fucking drag queen, fucking trans pole dancers in every toddler kindergarten public school right now. With sexually explicit books, you'd have kids lining up everywhere because of their fucking crazy, retarded, fucking mentally ill parents telling their kids to go get their genitalia mutilated because they weren't born that way. It would have been so insane. You would have been back at 6 feet safe. Everybody would have mandated the masks. It would have been fucking crazy. There probably would have been a civil war because there's a lot of people like, fuck you. We're sick of this shit. I truly believe that there's maybe 38% of the hardcore, leftover, Demoncratic supporters in this country. I do not believe they're at 50. I know for sure they were never at 60. They're dwindling away. The only people that are left are just fucking nutballs and crazies. But there's no way in hell anybody was going to tolerate the craziness. And then Ukraine and all this other shit they were doing. It was fucking nuts. This isn't nuts. People think this is, no, it's not. He's playing his cards correctly. He's getting things done. He stopped 7 or 8 wars, and this is just one that he had to do. And I explained why. There's 2 kids on that block. One is a fucking asshole. One is just a fucking murderous piece of shit thug. Now, you decide who that is, but one of them's got to go, and he picked Iran, which I think is the better choice, because he wasn't going to go against Israel. Of course not. Of course not. But like I said, this stops that continuous money grab that Israel kept getting from us, like $300-400 billion of money that they've received from us for decades. And then Ukraine was what, 2 or 3 years, and they got fucking $300 billion. That was crazy. Not that wasn't going to continue. Everybody would have to turn in their guns. Everybody, there's a guy being sued by Oregon right now in Oregon. I don't know if it's up. Let me see if I got it up here. This is how fucking crazy it was getting. It was getting so enormously stupid. Yeah, that's just crazy. Look at that. These people, look at what they're doing right here. They could be bombarded and destroyed. They're going to use children out on the bridge that might be blown up. Probably not this one, but the symbolic thing is no. I'm done. I'm done with this fucking mentality. This is like something the delusional Demoncrats would do. Like they've done with their families. Like, right, Renee Good. Her dyke fucking idiot girlfriend says, hey, man, let's go out and make some money at this paid protest. So they drive, it's fucking from what, Colorado or Utah or something like that. And they get out there and she's egging her on to fucking harass an ICE agent with her vehicle, which he clearly got hit by the car. So if somebody's hitting me with the car and I'm a fucking trained police officer agent, I'm going to fucking pull my firearm and go, beep, 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 beep. I'm going to empty my clip for sure. You can't fucking blame this guy. The problem is that fucking dyke girlfriend, nothing happened to her. She's, in my opinion, right, in my professional legal opinion, was aiding and abetting of Renee Good's death. That other fucking dude was just an idiot. He had been pouring it on for a long time. And then he goes and kicks the tailpipe. I mean, reverse tail lamp, and breaks it off of a fucking federal vehicle. Off of a fucking federal vehicle, with people with them in it. And then later on, he does some more shit. How much can you antagonize them? George Soros was saying, how much can you get these people? The globalist predator class was saying, we'll pay you. The more you can get from them, the more money we'll give you. That's how that worked. That had been proven. The more you can antagonize, it wasn't about stopping them. They know they couldn't stop them. It was about getting that clip, that little 5 to 10, 20-second clip of them doing something wrong or bad or evil or whatever. Sure enough, you fucked around and you found out. Fucking crazy. Crazy. Does anybody know what the fucking word crazy means anymore? Because for some reason the Demoncrats have no idea what the fuck that word means anymore. You're fucking crazy. Crazy. Stop being fucking crazy. You know, don't get help, because what they're going to do is they're going to give you fucking medication that's going to make worse. They're going to let you keep eating the same shit and processed foods and all that other crap. They're going to keep you on that revolving door plan. Just eat better. Maybe get God in your life. Go to church. Right? Have a little prayer. You know, there's nothing wrong. There's going to be that time. And look, it's never going to be perfect. Because I'm sure people have broken down and said, God, why have you forsaken me? That's not it. Everyone on this planet has the ability to ask for God's forgiveness and for his support. And that's it. And if you have a problem with saying he, him, and he's God, whatever, however you want to say it. Or no, trust in Wicca. Trust in your white magic or gray magic or black magic, whatever the fucking magic you want to do. I'm sure that's working out well for most of you. Right? But the problem in there is there's a part of the Bible, and there's a part of many religious, somewhat biblical sayings that are very similar, that you have to be thankful, right? You have to, at some point, tell yourself, and let me show you this right here. And this pretty much says it all right here. This is going to say it all right here. Yeah, they fucking put kids on the bridge. What the fuck was that about? That's fucking nuts, man. Is this the right one? No, that's not. Yeah. Where's my playlist? Playlist video. My playlist. Oh my gosh. OBS. I swear to gosh, you fucking eat up all the processing speed of my computer. pisses me off. You know, good for him. He played that well. No freaking way. Okay. Here it is. And I need you to watch this. I need people to understand how extremely important it is for you to be thankful for everything you have or had. And sometimes you can get it back. Sometimes you can have that stuff back. So I have a little something in my chest. It's freaking every spring I get stuffy noses. I don't know if it's allergies or something like that. But then my body adjusts and I get rid of it. You know what that is? That's from the International Space Station. You can see it live all the time. But what that is how we're connected. And what's really interesting, and I want you to see this part right here coming up. And this is, hold on. I think it's China, I think. Hey, hold on. Yeah. Yeah. The reason why I want you to see that is because those are like the neurons that are in your brain. And if you look in depth at the universe, it's similar to this. These lights are the major cities and how they branch off. And we create the same pattern everywhere. And it's throughout the universe. There's clusters, and then there's a string, and then another cluster that grows and grows, and they all get bigger over time. But it's an amazing, amazing world. It's, look, I just had my birthday. I'm 62. Okay? I just had my birthday. I'm 62 years old. And I've probably done more things than most men through their entire lifetimes. I've surfed giant waves in Hawaii. I've played in the snow and watched people surf on the big island of Hawaii in Hawaii. I played in the snow and skated in ponds in Alaska, and I've hunted with my uncles in Alaska with poor caribou and big game and bear and all this other shit. I was, when you're a little kid that young, you're just basically carrying around ammunition, right? 30-06. It's heavy. And I used to go hunting with my grandfather. I used to go in the desert, and I've been surrounded by fucking snakes and rattlesnakes, and I've done all kinds. There's a lot of things. And I've hung around and been in Hollywood and Bel Air and Beverly Hills, and done some great things. And then I've been humbled. I've been more humbled when I drove out to West Virginia, and that was very humbling for me, very eye-opening for me, for one particular reason: the people. Because at that time, as I was driving out there, I was still in that TDS, Trump derangement syndrome mode at that time, right? But I knew at that point, I was with the Green Party somewhat, and then at that point, I was trying to find out, Russia was a hoax. Russia, what the fuck? Steele dossier and all this other shit. I was putting it all together. And then I was thinking to myself, why why would this guy that had The Apprentice for 12 seasons be praised and was on Oprah and Jay Leno, and he was on with fucking David Letterman, and he was praised, and he was everywhere. You know, people just love the guy, and the next thing you know, he puts his name in the hat, and people hate him. But the epiphany was, I was on top of this mountain, and my son was visiting me at the time. And we were up there, and he brings down this stick. Matter of fact, I still have it. It's a strong piece of, I think, oak wood. I'm pretty sure it's oak. That fell off a branch, and I whittled it and sanded it into a nice, kind of like a staff, right? Kind of like a Moses staff in a sense. And you know what? Let me get it real quick. Hang on. Give me a second. I'm just going to grab it real quick. Give me 2 seconds. All right. Here it is, right here. You can see it. It's all blurry right here. Let's see if we can. But see if I get it like right here. You can see it better. Yeah, I'm moving around too much. Just trying to capture it. But it's a really good, solid stick. It's a pole. It's really nice. I sanded it. Oh, shit. It's tall. Right? Right here. Right there. And it's really good. It's one of my favorite things to have. And the reason why I think it's cool, and I'm going to tell you right now, is I'm out there, and it's so peaceful and it's so nice on top of this little mountain in the park up there by Marmet, West Virginia. And I'm with Stevie, and we're having a wonderful time. And I just, I was just blessed. I just knew right there how fortunate I was to be on this planet, to be able to be on this earth that protects me. I mean, how, if you were to create or geoform a planet, you'd want it to be exactly like Earth. The Goldilocks planet is what you want. That's what we're looking for, right? Kepler 439 or whatever the fuck they're looking for out there. And I just remember just taking a breath. And there were some cool like berms out there. These trails that were out there that were really cool too. It's pretty cool. But at that moment, it was just for a flash. I just said, how lucky am I to travel, to be where I'm at, to be with these people, to be... And people in West Virginia are just beautiful. There's some really wonderful people. Some are off, nobody's perfect. I get it. Right? But in every state, you're going to find some good people. And there were some really decent people that lived out there. Really nice, really genuine, really cool. The biggest thing that used to make me feel humbled was everyone. Everyone was, they kept to themselves. They were very polite, very courteous. I mean, I remember going into a store and some lady goes, well, thank you, honey buns, or something like that. Thank you, sweetheart. And I'm like, you can't say that shit in California. It's like sexual harassment. But they just say it. And it's just the way they talk to people. It was so beautiful. I mean, the accent, the Appalachian accent is just drives me crazy. I mean, it's just drives me crazy. But the reason why I'm saying that, and then was there all this area, all these red states, all these states that I used to paint as evil and bad and naive and stupid, they're brilliant, hardworking, God-fearing, most of them, wonderful freaking people. wonderful freaking people. And then I knew at that point, that's what the epiphany was, is they're everywhere. They're good people everywhere. God has made great things with everywhere. It's not the politicians are the problem. The giant CEOs are the problem, most of them. The fucking World Economic Forum is definitely the greatest terrorist organization on the fucking planet. Anything associated with it, of course. I just did a show about that in Antimatter, that they moved antimatter in a fucking U-Haul truck. What? Anyway. But I was very fortunate and very blessed at that moment, right? And I think that's what we all need to think about. I think that's where we all need to go. God is good. God is great. Thank you for this food we eat. We love our family. We love our friends. We'll be together forever. Amen. Okay, we have to feel that. And I got to tell you right now, I've been married 3 times. Well, technically, I think 2. The first one, I think, was annulment, I believe. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I like to save girls. I don't know what it is. If there's a girl in distress, I try to, for some stupid reason, I'm that guy that comes and goes, I'll save you, you know? But I gotta learn something first. And this is where I made a mistake, and I'm being a little personal here, but if they haven't saved themselves before I get to them, then their situations become my problems, and it's not good. There are, you know, and everybody has their baggage, and everybody has their problem, but it can be fixed with the right team. That's what I'm saying. It can be handled. It can be fixed. People make mistakes. I get it. But what can happen and what should happen is you have to have a common denominator. Just got to go to church. Just get a little God in your system. Right? I was telling, I went golfing yesterday with Ricky, Mike, and Eddie. It's a great team. We have a fucking great time. I lost $20. Fuck. I wasn't playing my best game. I had some great drives. Some of my chips were good. It's just those long fairway woods. Oh, so shitty with everybody is. The 3-wood is an evil fucking thing. That's all I gotta say. So, but we're all out, and I had a good time. But the whole thing is you're in a great country. Stop bitching. You know, I've owned 3 properties in my time. I've owned a 4-bedroom condo, 3-bedroom. The 4-bedroom condo had a 2-car garage, and the 3-bedroom had a 2-car garage, and I think it was like a little less than a quarter acre, in a housing tract, and you know, right by Los Angeles, Orange County. But and then it's interesting. I owned a piece of property that I just remembered I did. I owned property in Hawaii, and then it got molted over by lava, and we had to sell it. It's just like, what the fuck? That was so stupid. That was so fucking stupid. But it sounded good at the time. So I've done that. I've had raised kid, wiped diapers, changed diapers, done all that stuff, right? And I have beautiful children. My son's going back to college. My other son's kind of in limbo. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he's still 21. He's a good kid, works out all the time, stays in good shape. Very proud of him with that, staying healthy. You know, my daughter's chief master sergeant stuff coming up. I don't know. It's crazy. You know, and they're all doing good. And I got to tell you, in a way, I'm just like, that didn't come from me. I don't think that came from the patriotism. Definitely came from me. The reason why there's a flag out in front of my house all the time is because I held the flag during the ceremony, the American flag, during the naval ceremony, which was probably my proudest time when I graduated from boot camp. It was awesome. I'll never forget that. But all of us need to be thankful, right? I get it. I've listened to many people out there. You are God. God is in you. Take advantage. Of course, you can. What do they call that? Affirmate. Say a bunch of affirmations and over, just like a baseball pitcher pitching. I can make that pitch. I can make that pitch. I can strike this fucker out. Or the tennis player that says, "Oh, I can ace this. I can hit that shot. No problem." They keep telling themselves over. Affirmate the hell out of it. God is here for me. God is good. God is good. God is good. I can fucking do this. Things are gonna happen. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. I'm not looking for a teammate, and I'm not looking for much. I'm older now. And I want my kids to do well. And I want their kids, because I have grandkids now. A super cool 9-year-old. He's a fucking blast. We play Call of Duty together. Right? Grandpa, come and save me. I got you, bro. I got you. It's weird because it's like the same thing we used to do. My mom we used to play World of Warcraft a lot together, and then we played Quake. Oh, that was so fun. And some other games, first-person shooter games that were so fucking fun. And now I'm doing the same thing. It's just fucking awesome. We have a beautiful country. We have a strong country. We have a beautiful mixture and a melting pot of different nationalities that were raised here, born here, legally came here, worked their asses off, they built this city, they built the cities, they built the infrastructure, they built the houses, they took care of us, they cooked for us, our families, our moms, our dad, they performed, they entertained her. I mean, all the industries, hospitality, food and beverage, transportation, infrastructure, construction, real estate, you name it, insurance, whatever, banking, all of it. How fortunate are we to have all this stuff? But at the same time, it would be nice to have a fucking nice hula girl, or just a girl in a shack on an island with just a surfboard and some wild pigs and boars and some coconuts and some guavas, some taro, You know what I'm saying? Bro. But it's just how we are now. And we got to move forward. We're wayfinders. And Artemis, I still am apprehensive about 57 years ago going with all the technology that recently happened. And I mean, I think we're going in the right direction, but we're never going to do it under Starfleet Academy. That fucking tanked. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus, for Starfleet Academy just being annihilated in ratings. Just terrible. That was the worst. I couldn't even go through the first episode, and I heard it was just terrible. Second season gone. No season. Fuck you. Gene Roddenberry would be just. We are at the precipice, always, and I've said this many times, but I think we're past that now. I think we're at that moment where you're either going in the proper direction or the wrong direction. And the proper direction is let your kid get older, let them grow up, and then they can decide what they want to fucking do with their bodies or their lives. But for now, it's your home, it's your house. You put on those pants if you're a boy, you put on that skirt if you're a girl, and you go to fucking school, and you do it, right? Don't be controlled by these kids. For God's sakes, parents. Right? You'll regret it later. We're going to let him do what he wants. We're going to let him do what he wants because he'll make the right decisions. No. No. He hasn't had the wisdom. He hasn't been in the trenches like you do to know that information. So shut the fuck up and parent your kids. God damn it. All right. Does anyone know why Hawaii County is sending out ballots saying there are no polling places? Hawaii's getting fucking... Hawaii's is shit right now. All right. Change the subject. All right, we're going to go back. Let me show you a few more things. I'm going to get off here in a minute. But I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring up the Trump played everybody really well. I think he did a great job. I think you do need some decent religion in your life. I think it's good for a foundation on whatever direction. You apply it how you want to. Like I said, I got a Bible when I sit down and eat, and I got a Bible next to my head. And the reason why is every once in a while, jump in there, and for some weird, crazy reason, try it yourself. Just open it randomly and read something. And I swear to gosh, 9 times out of 10, it's going to pertain to something that's relevant in your life. And it has for me. It's wild. It's wild. Right? And I still believe in my old practices of Huna. I can do that. Huna is great. Huna is more of the positive thinking of Huna. That's what it is. You know, the low self, the middle self, the high self, and the self you can't control, and the side. You know, it's four-sided tetrahedron. Just that's great. And use that four-side for, you know, you can give it to God. That's what I say. If you can't fucking change it or fix it, just give it to God. He'll sort it out for you. And then it's gone. And you don't have to fucking worry about it anymore. Just keep moving on. Keep pressing forward. Follow those dreams. Go for it. Go out there and get it. Right? And by the way, I'm not saving anybody anymore. I'm not going to do it. I gave that up because these delusional Demoncrats that are out there, I used to try to convince them of what's happening and how their thinking is just terrible and detrimental and wrong. But most of them are delusional. Most of them are deranged. Most of them do have mental illness in serious ways. And there's nothing I can do. There are people out there that still have mental illness that are conservatives too. And they're doing whatever they can to fix and be more productive and just, you know, be connected with their families. There's just so much going on out there. But sometimes you got to go up on that mountain, right? Or sometimes down in the ocean. Touch that water. Touch that lake, right? Get connected to God's great gift. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about. That great spinning fucking gift out there called Earth, right? What a wonderful freaking thing. Right? That's in 2024. There's Seoul, Korea. The Earth is round, by the way. Just, if I ever get this fucking flat Earth thing, Artemis really went out and circled. I believe that. I think they have the technology to do that now. I'm still apprehensive, and I'm a little concerned about if they actually did that 57 years ago, when they only had tenth of the ability, the tenth of the technology, the tenth of the money, the funding, everything, to do something like that. Crazy. Did they actually get shots, or did anybody get any pictures of the? Oh, I think they did. Oh yeah, they did. Okay, that's interesting because I got to show you something. What was the first Apollo lander?
visit NASA. It's really special for us, but it's really special for the team on the ground. A whole team of people all around the world pulled this off, and we just want to say thank you to all of you for this. It is the thrill and honor of a lifetime to have been on this journey. Today was amazing, but this 3-year journey has been amazing, and it was made possible by.
We could see the corona of the sun, and then we could see the planet train line up, and at Mars, and all of us commented how excited we are to watch this nation and this planet become a 2-planet species.
Our incredible day today. I think one of the biggest highlights was coming back from the far side of the moon and having the first glimpses of planet Earth again after being out of communication for about 45 minutes. It really just reminds you what a special place we have and how important it is for our nation to lead and not follow in exploring deep space.
There you go, lead it.
I'd like to ask, what was your feeling when you had no communication, zero communication? All of a sudden it was cut off by, obviously, your very special location. What was your feeling when you had no communication? A little bit different, perhaps.
Yes, Mr. President, it was cold. I said a little prayer, but then I had to keep rolling. I was actually recording scientific observations of the far side of the moon. You know, that is actually the time when we were the farthest and the closest to the moon. And so we were really able to make some of our most detailed observations of the far side of the moon up close. And so we were busy up here working really hard. And I must say, it was actually quite nice.
Did you see a difference, a big difference, between the far side of the moon and the near side of the moon? Was there a difference in feel or difference in look? What did you see?
Well, Mr. President, we certainly did, and our team really set us up well to understand what they thought we might see. And the gravitational pull of the Earth has had a profound effect on the near side of the moon, changing all those dark mares, those dark patches of the moon you see from Earth. It's very different on the far side. While you see some small patches of those mare in deep craters, it's very much absent on that side, so that's really neat. And while I have the microphone, sir, I just want to thank you on behalf of Canada. The space leadership you spoke of from America truly is extraordinary. I've said this many times before. A nation that leads like that and creates and sets big goals for humanity that brings other countries along with it is truly incredible. And I know that's a very intentional, not a necessary decision, decision to lead by example and to allow other countries like Canada to share our gifts and help you achieve these mutually beneficial goals, like establishing a presence on the moon and eventually going to Mars. And Canadians are so proud to be a part of this program.
Well, I have to say I spoke to a very special person, Wayne Gretzky, who I think you know, the great one. And I spoke to your Prime Minister and many other friends I have in Canada. They are so proud of you. And you have a lot of courage. I'm not sure if they'd want to do that. I'm not even sure if the great one would want to do that, to be honest with you. But you have a lot of courage doing what you're doing, a lot of bravery and a lot of genius. But they're very, very proud of you.
Yeah, I don't doubt this happened. But I got to go back to those pictures. This is a pretty long conversation. Yeah. Let me just check this one right here.
One note, but that's a huge region, kind of like a piece of pie with the point of the pie pointing at Oriental and then going up towards the northern side of Hertzsprung. And that is an area that just looks like a different, that brownish albedo.
that was fantastic, Jeremy. We had heard rumors of the green and brown hues, and so you really read
the
my
dark
mind
side of the moon.
on asking about those. Understand they likely didn't have any contact with each other the way that you described them, but please correct me
There's
if
colors,
I
not just some big white
misunderstood that. And then last
cigarette
thing, I'll
ash.
make the same offer we made to Victor earlier. If it would be helpful for us to verbalize any targets so you can stay at the windows and keep your eyes adjusted to the moon, please let us know.
Yeah, it's a good call, girl. Good call. She's cute. All right. So just to let you know, go look at some of the footage they took. They're showing craters where this Apollo 11 landed. And then if you look at the pictures from 57, there's no craters. So I'm like, am I just misreading it? Anyway, I have my suspicions. I'm, Stanley Kubrick, put together that whole episode, and he was one of, he was in The Shining. And there were some references in The Shining to Apollo 11. And it was pretty weird. So there's a lot of things. And it's already, anyway. The guy that had the mic the most, he actually said, this is the first time we're going. This is the first time we're going. This is the first time we're going. He actually said that. Accidentally, maybe. Other than that, there's some more stuff I want to go over, but I can maybe go through here. TikToker guy has been proven factually that the main... Oh, I can't. I have to talk about the rescue. I've just go to my. If you need information about that, so the rescue of this guy, the technician, he was able to traverse 7,000 feet through 3 or 4 miles of desert terrain and get up to a high point where he could be set up his beacon so they can come and get him. And they did, and the rescue was amazing. And there were so many Demoncrats just fucking hoping and praying that he would not get rescued, and he was fucked. They're hoping Trump will stumble bad. When every month the illegitimate Joe Biden, whoever the fuck that was, stumbled constantly. He was just fumbling and stumbling just over and over and over again. What is this? Here.
Movement is setting a war up against ultra-processed food, and I think they're correct. This is a war. The Maha movement is setting a war up against ultra-processed food, and I think they're correct. This is...
Yeah, for sure. Wow, Obama, this is crazy.
Through the Dubai embassy, our United States government CIA agent was present. $400 million were moved.
Maria Zach. And this is talking about the elections. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Maria Zach from Nations in Action, and we are an organization that's devoted to transparent government, transformative politicians, trustworthy parties, and truthful media. The Italian Secret Service actually received information from Arturo's girlfriend, he considers wife because they've been together so long. Her uncle is part of the Italian intelligence services. She said, Uncle, Arturo came home and said he doesn't understand why we're stealing America's election. They immediately go to Leonardo and investigate. Arturo confesses. The Italian intelligence services reach out to us November 18th. They said something happened. We're watching a coup d'etat in the United States of America. They were fearful of meeting with anyone. There were 2 affidavits that were delivered into Congress, and they were delivered from Italian citizens that contacted us, intelligence agencies had been trying to reach out because their country had already fallen. And that is what is happening around the world. The intelligence agencies are watching corruption and China come in to their countries and buying off politicians and hiding things and using fraud to do amazing efforts to take over and own property and, in some instances, countries. So today I'm going to play for you an audio tape that should shock you all. It'll shock America. This is the first place I have chosen to testify in. I could have walked into any state. I know my way around. We've already proven my credentials. I know government affairs. I can walk in, and when I play this for you, and why Kansas? Because Kansas was a pro-Trump victor of electors. But I would argue you don't know. You do not know the real result of your election. You also probably have not been made aware of what was occurring in Italy. Leonardo, the defense contracting firm, had some strange occurrences happening with people coming in and out that the intelligence services witnessed, of people coming from Frankfurt into the Italian U.S. embassy in Rome on Via Veneto. This instance enabled individuals to come forward and supposedly, according to the Italian intelligence services, work with Leonardo to change the results of the United States election. But more frightening is that they claim there were 47 to 52 presidential elections around the world, and they now have telemetry experts, over 200, that speak foreign languages that are all different. So what you are dealing with is a very calculated attempt to take down presidencies and control countries. So this audio that I am about to play for you is from an individual who was a member of the CIA and the State Department. His name is Larry Johnson. Many of you may not know, but I am the person not only who hand-delivered that letter to Donald Trump on Christmas Eve in 2020, telling him who stole the election, where they stole it, and how they stole it. And my number one goal was to bring back one of the people who was in the satellite center. His name was Arturo Delia. My goal was to rescue him and bring him over to America because he was willing to testify. There were people that would not assist, that I thought would assist, but what was most shocking was this voice recording that I will play now.
Maria, hi, Larry Johnson. We spoke yesterday. Listen, I needed to see if you would help us get in touch with the lawyer, because after you talked to him yesterday, he went missing. We have people in Italy now and are ready to have the person that's in jail. We've got a national security team that can extradite him and bring him back safely to the United States. So that's already lined up. There's no need for an airplane because the airplane is going to be provided and witness protection provided. If you can call me at your convenience, 301-442-5957.
That's our United States government, supposedly, national security, that are going to go rescue Arturo Delia. Anyone know about that? Probably not. Anyone? Because most Americans had this truth hidden from them, that there was an operation, supposedly, but the number one thing that they were looking for in the beginning of that message was where the lawyers were and the people who did the affidavits who were being hunted to be killed. These are brave people around the world that are trying to tell the truth and having great difficulty with the United States government apparatus. Telling the truth is not easy, and people are risking their lives. So that was the transcript. So you ask, okay, what proof is there? Well, I would definitely consider that, sir, Mr. Chairman and members. That is called proof. That needs an investigation. Where is our law enforcement? It should be at the local, state, and federal levels immediately to investigate Larry Johnson and the activities that he did in the United States during this whole event. You know, everyone says if you see something, say something, right? We're all supposed to see something, say something, and then what happens? You get blasted. We had patterns of illegal activity across the country. We had people not matching signatures on the ballots. We had witnesses galore filling out affidavits. I'm so proud of the team at Nations in Action because they filed many, many, many affidavits. They saw the computers actually online, and there are photographs. So if anyone says the machines weren't online, that is false. So these witnesses that have come forward have also identified over 35,000 illegal cross-county voting just in Georgia alone, and that relates to President Trump's talk with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, where he was saying, I know that there are votes there that were illegally cast. He was right. He is actually vindicated in the proof today because the cross-reference with the state documents and the U.S. Postal Service feed shows that these people did not live where they actually voted. Those votes should have never been counted. Now we have illegal votes that are cast using fake residences and business addresses, photocopied identical ballots and stacks fed into tabulators, and many fake, unfolded, unmailed absentee ballots. Of the thousands of affidavits just filed in Georgia alone, would you like to know how many arrests were made? Zero. Zero. All those great citizens who we ask to do us a favor and help us do our right to vote, to go and volunteer to work polls, had no assistance at all in having a free and fair election, and they witnessed the failures of America. So now you should be asking me, who are the people in Italy, Maria? Who are they that actually coordinated and conspired? Because this is where we really break things down and show you the proof of what occurred. Stefano Serafini on your left is actually a member of our State Department who retired just days before the election. It is said that he, in an intercept, it was picked up that he was retiring so he wouldn't lose his pension should he be caught. He was coordinating with General Claudio Graziano. General Graziano is also at the time was the EU commander. And they were meeting across the street at the St. Regis Hotel. And it was with Ignazio Moncada, who is the CEO of Fatah, which is Fatah SPA, which is a subsidiary of Leonardo, one of the largest defense contracting firms in the world. They are the largest in Italy, and they receive numerous United States military and intelligence contracts. That should frighten everybody right now. Now, they were meeting in his hotel, and in March of 2020, they were coordinating this plan. The Italian intelligence services actually provided me with the cell phone number for the go order, and it goes to General Graziano. So then you ask, well, they concoct the plan. They have to go get the IT guys. Who's going to do it? Well, they already had a guy. His name is Charles Robinson. He is a telemetry expert. He came in a week prior to the election of November 2020. He uploaded mil-spec software, and he had traveled from Frankfurt. He was working in there with Arturo D'Elia. He is an IT guru in Italy. He's known as the smartest. The Italian Secret Service actually received information from Arturo's girlfriend, he considers wife because they've been together so long. Her uncle is part of the Italian intelligence services. She said, Uncle, Arturo came home and said he doesn't understand why we're stealing America's election. They immediately go to Leonardo and investigate. Arturo confesses. What they don't know, what Arturo doesn't know and anyone else, the Italian intelligence services, with the help of the Finanza Guardia, were conducting the investigation, and they said they were there to check for financial fraud. So they were checking all the other employees saying, hey, you got anything? What's going on around here? Any financial fraud? And one guy was a little nervous and he said, I don't have financial fraud, but something strange happened in the satellite center I'd like to confess. There was actually a second person in his name we had named Beta. Beta confessed to the Italian Secret Service, corroborating the entire story that Arturo D'Elia told to the intelligence services of Italy. This is Arturo. Arturo was hiding in the facility for 18 days while I tried to rescue him. I am just a citizen. I'm not agency. I shouldn't have to go do this for my country, but I will bleed for my country. And I had an opportunity to bring the witness and try to rescue him before he would be murdered leaving Italy. For 18 days, we hid him. And I personally funded and took money out of my retirement to do this. I can tell you that I was at the last straw, made a recommendation in the beginning of December to drop an article in Italy because I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't get to anyone. And I have 30 years of experience, and I had to wonder, why is it that a lot of the elected officials I went to are so afraid of me coming out with this information? It didn't matter if they were Democrats or Republicans, because I know everyone. I know Stacey Abrams. I know Brian Kemp. I know them all, and they have known me for years, and they have known me to be a very honest person. I will bleed for my country, and I will not cover for my party or any individual that I consider a friend, because we are at war, and that is what America deserves. So I dropped the recommendation and strategy to drop the article in Italy. The day the article dropped, all hell broke loose in Italy. They immediately put out for the arrest of Arturo Delia, and they arrested and jailed him. They fired their head of cyber security for the country, and they fired the head of telecom for the country. Oh, just on one day when I dropped one little article. Isn't that amazing? I'm sure that's just totally pure coincidence. So the timeline. We did an extensive timeline of what was occurring as this was happening. We knew that the meetings were taking place from March of 2020 and then into the summer. November, the first week in November, the crew arrived to the U.S. Embassy. There were data thrusts during the election because they said they couldn't keep up with all the votes and switching them. It was through the use of the Galileo satellite that was taken offline to load the mil-spec software. And let me make it very clear. I also own an IT company. I have friends who are both SEAL Team 6 former members that are communications and IT specialists. You have a document in your folder that explains how the satellites can be used. There are many methods. Anyone get Dish Network? Anyone get satellite TV? It's the same thing. So I'm going to make it real easy for you because I tell you, IT can be a bit complex. And so they loaded the software, they used it. Arturo goes home and tells his significant other. The Italian intelligence services reach out to us November 18th. They said something happened. We're watching a coup d'etat in the United States of America. They were fearful of meeting with anyone. The Italian government heads changed and did the arrests of the Sparkle Telecom and CERT. And then the CIA operatives fled immediately from the embassy the same day as the article dropping. That is not coincidence. This is one of the gentlemen, if you notice the sneaker, same guy. That picture is from the United States Rome Embassy. Nobody can get that picture unless you're Italian intelligence services. The camera is super high up. It is a secured facility, secured item. They sent me that photo. They were sending me documents and sending me photos because they knew there was nobody in the United States Rome Embassy that they could trust. And that is a sad, sad, sad day for America to wake up to this reality. It is not partisan, I will remind everyone. This is a whole different operation and a whole different war we are fighting. These are the other operatives that were fleeing on that day. They told the ticket agent that they were returning back to Frankfurt, which confirmed everything. Leonardo actually had their facility, their secure facility for all of their cloud services in Frankfurt, and they recently moved it. But at the time, it was in Frankfurt. They're also looking at renaming Leonardo and breaking it into pieces as we speak. Sound familiar? Maybe something that used to be called Facebook? So then we have the gentleman in the center there's a gentleman with a very large bicep. And you would say, huh, why do we care about that gentleman's bicep? We care a lot about that gentleman because that gentleman is out of Canada. He is not an American, he is Canadian. These gentlemen, this one in particular, we received a tip immediately that this gentleman, Charles Robinson, had confessed to stealing races in Arizona as early 2000, including Janet Napolitano's race for governor. He returned back to Canada with a brand new sports car and confessed to a fellow co-worker while he was working at one point for Dominion. Then he was not working for Dominion. Then he went back to Dominion, and then he left and was working for another company. This gentleman has an extraordinary large bicep. He's very well known by this source. This source worked with Canadian law enforcement, who seem to be a lot more willing than our federal agencies. And they started tracking the gentleman. The sources claim that this is the guy who is so brilliant as a telemetry expert that he was able to load the software and change the votes. He now has 3 women, and there are people hunting him because people have followed my work, and sadly, some of them have done things that are, in my opinion, treasonous. They have gone to Italy under the guise of collecting money to go do an investigation on Italy. And they've taken this information and gone and gotten massages, rented villas, and they've also gotten people inspired to go hunt this guy down, as well as Stefano Serafini from the U.S. Embassy. Serafini is still in Italy. He does not return to his McLean, Virginia home because he knows there are Americans looking for him. In my opinion, that was very wrong to incite Americans to go after and hunt these people. But Americans are desperate for politicians and law enforcement to do something. So I beg of you to work with law enforcement and make something happen after this presentation, because there's too much proof to not have it happen. Now for Alexander Nix. That name should be familiar to all of you. He was very involved in races in 2016 and prior. He was involved in the Cruz campaign. He was involved in the Trump campaign. And he was fined and part of the use of people's data from Facebook, a huge, massive fine that Mark Zuckerberg had to pay. And I always found it odd. Why would Mark Zuckerberg be working with the IT guy from Cambridge Analytica out of London, and yet they're working to help Republicans? That doesn't seem to make sense because Mr. Zuckerberg seems to be on the other side. Well, the Italian intelligence services immediately started giving me downloads on all the people, including sending me their picture and phone numbers out of their phones, showing and verifying that they not only knew who they were, they had relationships. One person actually drove Alexander Nix to the CEO's office at Leonardo in Italy. Now, you must ask yourself, why would an IT guy who has a voter technology actually be going to a defense contracting firm in Italy? Doesn't make sense, does it? No, it doesn't. And so you have to ask, okay, so Alexander Nix, is he MI6 like the Italian intelligence services says? Was he in meetings in America with CISA, the security association that was ensuring our elections? I am told that he was actually given permission and attendance of our election integrity and security meetings in the United States federal government as late as October of 2020. And he is a British citizen. He is not American, and he ran an IT company as his cover called Cambridge Analytica, where there are movies by Brittany Kaiser and others, Chris Wiley, who are 2 very liberal Democrats who came out, they saw something and they said something. And these people know something is wrong, and they have written books, and I highly recommend reading those. So while this was going on, the Italian intelligence services started telling me how things were breaking down in Italy and the Italian government was going to collapse. I am not one who's ever received an intelligence briefing in my life. I was a lobbyist, state lobbyist. You know many of people just like me. And so all of a sudden I'm being told that Joe Biden called Matteo Renzi, who was the former prime minister, prior to the collapse of the government, and he said, I need you to take down Giuseppe Conte as the prime minister. Within 3 weeks, Giuseppe Conte was down and Italy was in total chaos. That is proof that the intel intercepts that I was receiving were factual. Now, Conte was not real happy about going down, but he was given millions of dollars, we were told, in a California bank. These are banking issues as well. There were movements and pallets of cash, including the information that I supplied to Special Counsel John Durham. You are the first government agency that I am making this very clear to everyone. John Durham is in possession of documents from me that include the moving of pallets of cash by Barack Obama through the Dubai embassy. Our United States government CIA agent was present. $400 million were moved from there with the help of Italians, and the Finanza Guardia in Italy knows. And they supplied the names of the people in the room, and now we need you to get your United States senators and your congressional delegation, and I don't care what party they are, and they need to work together because stealing from the American families in Kansas is wrong. And they stole $400 million and put it in the Merrill Lynch in Geneva, Switzerland. That is evidence that is sitting before us today. This story gets worse and more horrifying for the citizens of Kansas and America. So we knew that the plot was going to continue. They were going to try to kill Arturo Delia. We knew that they were chasing the Italians that were helping us. They have been threatened. They have been in car chases. They have had their cars roll over and people injured. And there have been many Italians who have been murdered. 5 government officials in March alone were murdered, including an ambassador. A brand new appointment to the cabinet was murdered the very day he was appointed. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield the floor for questions.
Okay. Do we have questions?
You give us a lot. It's awful hard to grasp everything all you're saying, and a lot of it's very new for us.
Yes, sir.
Going to Italy and the Leonardo, if I understanding what you're saying is that satellite there can send the codes and they can affect and change elections, not only in the United States, but around the world. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's wild. So
John Durham is in possession of documents from me that include the moving of pallets of cash by Barack Obama through the Dubai embassy. Our United States government CIA agent was present. $400 million were moved.
Maria Zach. And this is talking about the elections. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Maria Zach from Nations in Action, and we are an organization that's devoted to John Durham is in possession of transparent government, transformative.
Let me just read the whole thing and stop this.
John Durham is in possession of documents from me that include the moving of pallets of cash by Barack Obama through the Dubai embassy. Are you politicians?
All right.
There's a war. The Maha movement.
The elderly. Ever notice that drag queens never go read to the elderly? Ever notice that drag queens never go read to the elderly? Ever notice that drag queens never go read to the elderly? Ever notice that drag queens never go read to the elderly?
Is in a bottle. This is good, and this will clog all of your arteries. This is good with clean ingredients and mercury tested. This is bad with natural flavors and sodium phosphate. And this is just great. This is good. This is bad. So happy to see that Costco now offers so many healthy varieties. And if you want my list of recommendation of healthy stuff at Costco, comment Costco below. This is good.
It should all be. It should not. The word organic is a lie. It should just be vegetables and fruits. The whole process, it's the chemical industry just puts their fucking poison in everything and they get paid for it. Let's see. It says aircraft destroyed during the equipment mission information service. Yeah. Power boats, baby. I've been in a fountain before. Not a cigarette. They're like similar, and they're fast.
It is going to be putting tampons in boys' bathrooms and letting boys dominate in girls' sports. This is Champlain Park's softball team after they won the Minnesota Girls State Softball Championship today 6-0. Which would be super cool if their team wasn't led by a boy who pitched 7 straight shutout innings. This boy pitched 5 consecutive games, 35 straight innings. Only 2 runs were allowed in that entire stretch. The Minnesota State High School League awarded this boy all tournament team honors, posted about it on social media, then very quickly turned their comments off. Wonder why? Can you pick out which one is the boy? Here's a clip of the final play in the state championship game. This breaks my heart because you will notice the girls on the team run over to the boy, they surround him, they hug him, they're cheering, they're clapping, they're applauding. Of course, they're excited, they just won a state championship. This was the first time their school ever even got an appearance at the state tournament. So you can imagine they were ecstatic to win the thing. I just wonder if any of those girls gave any thought at all to how the girls on the other teams that got defeated by Champlain Park, how they might feel. The girls who had to be in the batter's box with the over 6-foot man pitching from the mound. I actually went to Minnesota earlier this year, hosted a rally outside the Capitol, and then watched on the House floor as every single House Democrat and Senate Democrat in the state of Minnesota voted in opposition of protecting women and girls in sports.
There are real problems in girls and women's sport.
Truth and fairness for women and girls in sports and education. As you may have seen, President Biden and his administration backdoored this rule change that literally destroyed the intention of Title IX by inserting the term gender identity alongside the word sex in Title IX. So, as you may know, Title IX was passed by Congress over 50 years ago out of a recognition of the biological differences between men and women and boys and girls, and seeking to level the playing field for women and girls in sports and education. Fast forward to where we are today, not going through Congress. Yet again, President Biden has tried to change the law of Title IX by redefining it in a way that directly undermines the intention of Title IX in the first place, fairness and women for girls in sports and education. So we had a ruling from one federal judge a couple of days ago that said in 4 different states there was a stay on President Biden's rule change. Well, another federal judge just ruled today, applying to 6 additional states, that President Biden's Title IX rule change would not be able to go. The department would turn Title IX on its head by redefining sex to include gender identity. But sex and gender identity do not mean the same thing. No, you don't. Exceeds its authority to promulgate regulations under that status. He's exactly right. This is Judge Reeves who commented on this. He also said that the rule would mandate that schools, quote, permit biological men into women's intimate spaces and women into men's within the educational environment based entirely on a person's subjective gender identity. This result is not only impossible to square with Title. He also pointed out rightly the First Amendment implications of President Biden's rule change. with the student's purported gender identity rather than their biological sex. Based on the pervasive nature of pronoun usage in everyday life, educators likely would be required to use students' preferred pronouns regardless of whether doing so conflicts with the educator's religious or moral beliefs. A rule that compels speech and engages in such viewpoint discrimination is impermissible. End of quote. This is a mic drop by Judge Reeves. He makes the argument against President Biden's rule change, undermining Title IX, but against this entire effort to force our society to accept this woke agenda and trans ideology that the Biden administration is trying to push on everyone.
Crazy delusion.
This is not about, this ultimately is about free speech. It's about fairness, and it's about equality. Judge Reeves said it very well. Kudos to you, Judge. Let's keep lifting up our voices. This is such an important issue. It has far-reaching implications.
It's crazy that we're fucking there. It's crazy.
Trump is taking $3 billion from the U.S. government, our money, and moving it into a bank account outside of the United States.
No, he definitely is not. Now, if you're curious what she's talking about, this is in reference to the proceeds from Venezuelan oil. Congress accesses proceeds to enter our economy because the government wouldn't be able to fucking help themselves. You know they'd spend it. So he's setting it aside in a different account where we take all the proceeds that they're making, and we know that every cent of that is going to go back to the Venezuelan people. He is literally saving this money for They are going to doesn't fuck over the Venezuelan people. Everything. I swear to God, there is nothing Trump can.
Yeah, it's crazy. The bridges are gone. The bridge they're using earlier was retarded. It's not even a fucking real bridge. I'm gonna leave with this.
And robbers is that
pretty much, bro.
That's since been updated. No transgender or 5 without the express written approval of parents. Transgender mutilation surgery for children. Go ahead and make this very clear.
When there's 11 million people in custody, what are you going to do then?
I'm going to be very happy because I voted for mass deportation.
And who's going to build your houses? Really quick. Who's going to mow your lawns? Who's going to clean your house?
His racist rant. His racist rant.
No, it's not.
Hispanics can only mow your lawn.
Wow. Guess I'm only good for mowing lawns and building buildings and okay.
And when there's 11 million people in custody, what are you going to...
That used to be the argument. I remember that argument. I'm just like, that doesn't sound right because I used to work with Mexicans in a farm, so they're better than they can do all. It doesn't matter. They can do anything. Anybody can do anything. It's not. I've already gone over this. 20 million people in 4 years is crazy. It used to be 300,000 to 400,000 per year, but the Biden administration uses these people to launder money for illegal voting. It's just crazy. It's Honolulu 2026 town hall postponed. Honolulu's going through a major Orwellian shift, and I'm going to urge Donald Trump and his administration, especially Doge, to go out there and look at what they're doing, because they have been stealing, they have been rigging, they have been funneling, laundering, grifting, everything criminally, politically, just crazy, especially Maui, Lahaina fire, for a long time. I'm going to play this and then we're good.
Should you be able to burn the American flag, sir?
No. You kidding me?
Oh, I'm not.
No, you used to be able to burn it. You kidding me?
That's
How
a
come?
symbol.
How come?
People died for that flag.
Were you one of those?
My brother, that's right. My
So you
brother
have a lot of
died for
people?
that flag.
Yeah.
I love America. I was born here. I love America, and I will die for this flag.
Do you think we should be able to burn the, the gay flag? The gay flag?
No flag should be burned.
No flag, okay. As long as you're consistent, right?
Yes.
Thank you
that's
so
right.
much, sir.
Have a nice day.
Thank you for your service. Should you be able to burn the American flag,
The
sir?
flag's a flag. Don't, you know, he makes right. He's right. If it's freedom of speech, I get it. But anyway, I'm going to leave on that note. I want to say thank you all for being here. If you're paying attention, there was a pause in there, but I had to show you that information. I want you to go look up though the new pictures of the supposed landing site of the Apollo flights, and that the craters, I guess these engines made, but there's no craters created, which is very odd. I mean, that stuff is like sugar powdered sugar, right? It's just puffs. It's like flour. If you blow on it, you know what I mean? It's not very dense or heavy at all, the surface of the moon. And there's no crater. I'm just going to tell you. There's so much. It's just 57 years ago, for fuck's sakes. Anyway, I want to say thank you all. Thank you all for watching. Aloha. Thank you so much. Take care. Love you all. If you guys want to come on, let me know. I'm easy to get a hold of. Easy to get a hold of.